Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome or welcome back to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what they think of you in your absence. So this can be for any person on your mind that isn't currently in your life right now, a no contact situation. It can be literally anyone, doesn't have to be romantic. So we have three piles to choose from. For pile number 1 on the left hand side, we have the crystal thunder egg. In the middle, we have pile number 2 with the crystal howlite. Then on the right hand side, we have the crystal agate with pile number 3. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile, pick whichever one you are most drawn to. So once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1. So you chose the Thunder Egg Crystal and the Empathetic Starseed card. We're going to be taking a look at what they think of you in your absence. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Before we get started with your reading, I do want to announce that I am now available for personal readings again in January. So if you'd like to book with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. So your card says energetic sovereignty and absorbing what's not yours. Then you have peach selenite with universal chakra and insight. You have apophyllite with Jupiter and curiosity. And you have the world reverse and the 7 of pentacles. After we take a look at these cards, I'm going to pull tarot cards for you. So what I am picking up from this person, in terms of what they think of you in your absence, I see that this person thinks that you were always so emotionally mature in some way. You always held space for this person. They think of you as a very empathetic, loving person. They think of you as somebody that is very emotional and sensitive in a good way, where you're comfortable with your own emotions. They also think of you in a way where they see a lot of similarities between the two of you, in terms of things you've been through in life or life circumstances or just personality traits that maybe they relate to in you. So, although you two seem to not be in contact at the moment, because we do have the Mercury card in the reverse of this one oracle deck, so that to me makes me think of like no contact, because Mercury is the planet of communication. Although you're in no contact with this person and you haven't been for some time, I feel like they're still curious about you. I feel like they still check up on you, maybe on social media, or they ask around about you. You are still on their mind, even though you're not in this person's life anymore or not in contact with them anymore. And I do see that they still find you relatable in some way, which is quite interesting to me. So I am hearing the song as I tap into the energy. That song that goes like two hearts that beat as one. So this person might feel as though you still have their hearts in some way, whether this was platonic or romantic or whatever kind of connection this was. They feel as though you still have a part of their heart, even though you're not in contact anymore. And what I find very interesting here is we have the world reverse. So I wouldn't tell you this unless I see it, but I do see it here. The world reverse tells me that this person feels as though they can't move on from you. They feel as though they took you for granted, and there's a lot of regrets here of like, why didn't I do enough? Why didn't I appreciate this person more? Why didn't I work on myself? Why didn't I grow this connection? This person looks at you as if you are the one that cared the most about them, more than anybody else has, and you prove that to them with your actions and the way you always were there for this person. You were always supportive with this person. So I think they're still viewing you in that same supportive, empathetic light of like, why did I take you for granted? Because you were the only person that was there for me. You were the only person that cared about me when you wanted me to work on myself or you brought up problems. it was because you wanted to work on this connection. You wanted to grow and expand this connection. It's not because you were attacking me. So maybe some of you called this person out on something they were doing, or brought up a specific issue or problem to this person that during that time they never saw as an issue. So take it as it resonates. This is not going to resonate with everybody, but I see you bringing up an issue to them that really was on your mind, and I see this person brushing it off as if it's not an issue when it was an issue. And there may be some realizations right now that you were right, that they did need to work on this area of themselves, and they did need to grow, and maybe you were mirroring something back to them that they weren't wanting to see. I feel like with the mirror here, you showed them the truth of maybe what they were hiding from, that they didn't want to see within themselves. There is this feeling of this person avoiding accountability, but finally taking accountability. They are finally taking accountability for how they may have contributed to this no contact situation, or the state of your connection, or non-existent state of your connection as it is right now. So I hope that makes sense. It feels like this person's kind of just thinking back to the old times you had together and thinking about, okay, what did I do wrong, or what did I contribute to the state of the connection right now? So it feels like they're taking responsibility for things that went wrong, that they may have caused, that they never took responsibility for in the past. And it feels like they're looking at you like, maybe in the past they looked at you as like you're trying to make problems out of nothing, or you're just trying to like be dramatic, or it feels like in the past they kind of put the blame on you, if that makes sense, even though you weren't the one to blame. It kind of feels like a situation where, let's say I come up to a person and I'm like, okay, you did this to me and I'm unhappy with it. And they're like, oh, you're so dramatic, you're so sensitive. It feels like they're putting the blame back on you to not take responsibility. And it feels like they did that in the past, but it feels like now they're realizing that the only reason you brought these problems up to me is because you wanted to fix these problems in our relationship, not attack me. So now that this person's not viewing it from a place of pride and ego, they're finally able to take a look at themselves and take responsibility for their own actions. And that is a big theme I see here for a lot of you. So in other words, their view of you has changed from you're trying to create problems to, oh, you were just trying to bring this up to me, to fix this, to work on this because you cared about me. And I didn't see it that way at the time because I had so much pride. So to admit that they were wrong is what I'm hearing. Okay, that's what I'm picking up on. I do pick up on some insecurities from this person now that you're no longer in their life. I'm not sure why. And I do pick up that this person views you as very lucky right now. They think of you as somebody that has expanded and grown a lot, to the point where you've grown quite past them. It feels like you've outgrown this person, quite literally. And it feels like they're looking at you as if you're on a different level than them. Because I'm seeing statistics in my mind's eye, and it's like, you're high up there and they're low down there. And I'm not saying that to them, but this is what I'm seeing clairvoyantly in terms of like how they're feeling right now. So they may be viewing you in a sense of like, you're above me, or you've outgrown me, or you're in a higher level than me right now. One thing I do see is that you have grown massively in your career as well, or you are trying to. Maybe you're putting a lot of focus on your career right now, or working on your own self, like your inner work, but it feels like a lot of you are working very hard right now with your career with the Seven of Pentacles here, and it's paying off, or it is going to pay off, and this person can see the potential of that with Jupiter here. It feels like they're just viewing you as very lucky right now, but maybe they're not fully seeing the hard work that goes into the efforts you've put into, if that makes sense. They're just seeing the result of that, whether that is your inner work or just the state of your career right now. It feels like you've improved financially for a lot of you, and they're looking at you in disbelief. I will be honest, there is a little bit of a competitive feeling here where it's like, how can you be further ahead of than me? That is what I feel energetically from this person's feelings towards you. I am quite literally now, after seeing that, I'm seeing the story of the tortoise and the hare, if you know it. So yeah, this person is viewing you in a very like competitive mindset right now of like, you're further ahead of than me and that's not fair. Like, how could this happen? There's a feeling of disbelief here, but also a feeling of rage. So when I came to your pile, I immediately picked up on a feeling of rage. I felt like I wanted to kick and destroy things down, which was very unusual because that's not me, that's not in my character, and nothing made me angry, and I was so confused, like, am I picking up on this person's energy? And Spirit told me yes. So I don't know why they're raging right now, but there's a feeling of rage and anger here. I'm gonna ask Spirit what is that about? Okay, so it relates to them looking at you. I see them stalking you on social media, like I said before, or checking up on you constantly with curiosity here. And I see them looking at you as if you are completely fine and you've moved on and you have peace with your life and you're just glowing from the inside out. But you also have the side of other people, perhaps for some of you, where other people have taken your side in this scenario instance, where you look like the better one, if that makes sense, or the more responsible one, or the one that wasn't wrong, if that makes sense. Whereas for others of you, it also has to do with the competitive energy of like, how can you be further ahead than me? So don't get me wrong, there is that feeling of rage, but there is like confusing feelings from this person. I don't know why I'm picking up on their feelings, because I'm going to get into what they think of you, but I'm just picking up on a lot on their feelings right now, and like, they feel like they miss you, but at the same time, they're raging because you've moved on while they're still thinking about you. I see them losing sleep over you, overthinking. I'm seeing the Nine of Swords in my mind's eye. So they really feel your absence. They think that you're doing better without them. That's what I just heard in their absence, if that makes sense. And it also feels like they're viewing you as like, again, very responsible, empathetic, the one that was always there for them, someone very lucky right now, someone that's expanding and growing, someone that's done the inner work. That's how they're viewing you right now. I see them sitting with a group of people and talking about you and trying to get information on you. It feels like they're viewing you as pretty mysterious right now, where it feels like they don't have all the information they'd want on you. And I just keep seeing lurking eyes as I'm in the energy. So they're viewing you as a very honest, diplomatic person with pure intentions, that always had pure intentions towards them, and they feel stupid for taking you for granted, which is what I'm hearing. And they also view you as somebody that has moved on. Whether that's true or not, that's what I'm seeing. So let's get more on what they think of you with your tarot cards. Okay, so for your tarot cards, we have the Four of Wands, the Devil, the Four of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and an extra card with the Seven of Swords. At the back of the deck, you have the Eight of Wands, which is confirmation for me saying that they think you have moved on from them. Because the Eight of Wands is all about moving forward with our lives and also taking action towards our goals. So this person could think of you in this like very goal-orientated light right now, where it seems like you're very focused on things that are bigger and better. It feels like, again, you're very focused on your career with these Pentacles cards. It feels like you've mastered something or become very talented within a skill of yours with the Eight of Pentacles here. So they could think of you as a very talented person right now. And this could bring up feelings of insecurity or even self-doubt within them, based on them looking at their own journey and how far they've come compared to you. So it seems like they are comparing themselves to you right now. And I'm hearing that quote, which is why I say this: comparison is a thief of joy. I'm hearing that, which is why I say they're comparing themselves to you right now in terms of like how they're thinking of you. It feels like they're kind of putting you on a pedestal, whereas before they might have devalued you, which is interesting but negative in a way. Um, I'm feeling hands touch my face as if somebody like wants to like look into my eyes or something. So there is still feelings of like love here for you, whether this was platonic or romantic. But there's also a feeling of fakeness here. Like, I don't think this person was good for you in any way. I don't think they were healthy for you in any type of way. And some of you won't want to hear that, but it's what I see, honestly. I feel like you're better off without them, and they also feel that way. So what's also interesting is the Queen of Cups is right behind the Eight of Wands, and the Queen of Cups is all about empathy and compassion and grace. So that is how they're thinking of you right now, like this very graceful, um, almost like empathetic person, nurturing person, somebody that's deep, somebody that cared about them more than anybody else did. They're viewing you as very emotionally mature, like I said before, like with the way you've handled things in this connection so gracefully. Um, Chaotic things that happen so gracefully. It feels as though they are kind of thinking of you in this light of like, you're so hidden to me right now, or like you're so out of reach right now. Where it's like, I can't have access to you anymore, or I can't speak to you anymore. You know, like let's say something bad happens to me, I can't tell you about it. Let's say something good happens to me, I also can't tell you about it. So it does feel like they miss you a lot, but they're also thinking of you as like you're very mysterious or hidden to them right now, and like you're so out of reach. I hear the word traumatized, so I don't think they necessarily think of you as a traumatized person, but maybe they think that they have put you through some kind of trauma, whether that is big or small. And again, there's a lot of regret here. But I don't feel like they have truly grown yet to that place where they can. Well, I think they can change if they want to. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying they can't change, but I don't feel like they have changed yet. I feel like they're on their own journey where now they're taking responsibility, which is a huge step for them because before they didn't. So that is a sign of growth, but I don't feel like they've fully grown to be what you need, if that makes sense. And that's kind of how they're viewing the situation. Like, maybe you're better off without me, with the Seven of Swords and the Devil here, where they're realizing their own actions and how that may have affected you emotionally. They think of you as somebody that has clarity and direction for where you want to be in your life right now, and you're just going towards those goals of yours. But they're comparing themselves where they think that they don't have clarity or direction. They don't know where they want to go. They feel quite bored and apathetic with their life. And they also sometimes wonder if you feel that way too. If you feel bored or apathetic or insecure at times and just put on like a confident facade. That's just honestly what I'm picking up from their thoughts. But I don't feel like you are. I feel like you're genuinely just doing better for yourself and you're at peace right now. That's what they think of you. But that's what I think of you as well. In terms of like you being at peace right now and doing better for yourself. So they used to always view you as like the soft, graceful person, and you're still that type of person, but it also feels like they have kind of What's the correct word to use, Spirit? It feels like they have kind of demonized you or put the blame on you for setting boundaries with them. It feels like they're thinking of you as somebody that is no longer someone to walk all over. You have a backbone now. That's what I'm picking up on. So it feels like they're thinking of you as like this person that has a backbone now, that has a voice, that isn't going to like settle for less or um accept the treatment that you don't deserve, if that makes sense, like bad treatment. But it feels like they're kind of blaming you for having a voice, which to me it feels like this person doesn't fully respect you, because someone that respects you is going to respect your boundaries or respect what you have to say. It feels like they've accepted that things have ended between the two of you, but they still can't seem to get you off their mind. I'm hearing the word limerence. So, this is what I have for you, pile number 1. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number 2s. You chose the Howlite crystal and the Star Brothers card. So, in today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what they think of you in your absence. So, please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to announce that I am now available for personal readings again. So, if you'd like to book with me, then you can find my email address in the description box below. So your cards here are Star Brothers with Horse Energy, Protection, Loyalty, Safety, and Trust. We also have the Root Chakra, Culmination, and Hematite in the reverse, and Sacral Chakra, Sunstone, and Deep Knowing in the reverse. Then we have the Page of Wands and the Lovers. After we take a look at these cards, I will pull some separate tarot cards for you. So let's get into the reading. So, what they think of you in your absence. I see that this person still has feelings towards you with the Lovers here, still feels something very greatly, regardless of, if this was platonic, romantic, family, like whatever it is, there is still like feelings here of love. So that's what I pick up on. I think that they're feeling very sad that you're no longer in their life, or that you two are not in contact anymore, or that, things kind of happen between the two of you, or that you drifted apart. Whatever it was, it feels like they're still sad about it. They're still mourning this connection. But it feels like they're thinking of you in this light of like, we're not truly over, but am I delusional for thinking that? So that's what I pick up from their energies. Since we do have the Lovers card here, perhaps most of you could be asking about a romantic situation, an ex, someone you were speaking to romantically, someone you were seeing, but that doesn't have to resonate with everybody. So just take it as it resonates. But what I do see for some of you, this is specific. This won't resonate with everybody. For some of you, this person has gone into a new relationship, but you still intuitively sense, and hear me out, you still intuitively sense that they have feelings for you and that they have not moved on from you, but they have moved on to a new relationship, like a rebound relationship. So I'm picking up on something like that, something along those lines, where it's like maybe you intuitively feel like this person is forcing themselves to move on with somebody else, but hasn't truly moved on in the heart. Maybe they've moved on physically, but not in the heart. So that's what I pick up from somebody's energy here. And I am picking up that whenever this new girlfriend or boyfriend asks about you or talks about you, your person gets very protective over you. That's what I saw in the intro of the pick a card. Like, I was doing the intro, and when I looked at this card, I saw a vision of that, like a new girlfriend or boyfriend talking about you, maybe saying something bad, and them getting very protective and angry and like defending you to this new girlfriend or boyfriend, which is very interesting to say the least. So that's just for somebody. That's not going to resonate for everybody. But let's take a look at more of like what I can see here. So they're viewing you and thinking of you as a very loyal person, as someone they could always trust, rely on, and count on. I'm hearing that song, You Got a Friend in Me. So for the platonic relationships, even though you two aren't in each other's life anymore, they feel as though they can count on you for anything. Like, let's say they were in danger and you were the only person that they could call, you would answer, even if you were on bad terms. Like, that's just how much of a loyal person you are, that you would be there for this person and you could be someone they can count on. So that is how they think of you right now. So, along with that message I gave of like someone getting into a new relationship after the separation, I am now seeing something from Pretty Little Liars. I've watched Pretty Little Liars like when I was in high school. It's been a while since I watched it, so my memory on it is a little bit hazy. But what I do remember is there was this one character that Hannah dated in Pretty Little Liars. I think his name was Caleb or something like that. And she dated him for a while and then he went and dated Spencer, if I'm not mistaken. And basically during the whole scene and like whatever happened there, Spencer was always worried that Caleb still had feelings towards Hannah because they were in a very serious relationship for a long time before that. And even though Spencer was dating him at the time, she still felt like, does he still have feelings for her? You know, so maybe there's this new girlfriend or boyfriend that is very like suspicious of your person and suspicious of like, am I the second option? If they call right now, will they just drop me? You know, like if you call them right now, will the person just drop them? And they could be like very jealous of you, which is why this is coming up. Maybe they're having fights about you. And of course, I'm not trying to stir the pot or anything like that, but I'm just telling you what I see here. Of course, if they're in a new relationship, please respect that. But yeah, that's the energy I pick up on for someone here. So this person thinks of you as someone that brought a lot of joy into their life in a way that is kind of hard to explain. They still feel joy now. I don't feel like this person is reliant on you for happiness, but it still feels like, okay, the vision I'm seeing is like when you were in their life, it was all sunny. Now the sun is still shining, but it's a little bit cloudy and we don't see the sun shining as much. So what I take from that is like they're still happy, but maybe they're struggling to see things that are good in their life right now, or struggling to see things they should be grateful for right now without you, right? So that's what I see. And like I said, they are still mourning this connection. They are still grieving this connection. Whether it is truly over or not, that's how they feel right now. And listen, this person doesn't know whether things are truly over or not. They're still in this feeling of limbo with you. And I'm hearing that they try to act as if they don't care, but that's just a facade. They do care deep down. For somebody, I hear that. So I was busy sitting here thinking for a few seconds, and I was kind of putting my hand over my face, like thinking of like what else is coming through and trying to connect to the energy, and I almost hit my face. So there's something about like something feeling like a slap in the face to you, how quickly they seem to move on for somebody here. For a lot of you, I'm picking up on this energy, but they haven't truly moved on. And I'm not just telling you this to say what you want to hear, I'm truly picking up on this energy. I am picking up that this person thinks of you as somebody that they're deeply connected to, even when you're not in contact or around each other. It feels like you two have this telepathic connection or this deep soul connection. What Spirit is showing me is, you know, when you have two twins and they can psychically pick up on one another even when they're far apart, or like when a mother picks up on something intuitively about her baby or her child. It's like the same type of energy but different. Unless this is a family connection for someone here, but I'm picking up that this person feels your energy even when you're not around, feels and picks up on your feelings, and you pick up and feel their feelings too, and sometimes mistake it as your own. So I see them picking up on your feelings, still feeling deeply connected to you, and still longing for you, feeling nostalgic about you. I see them reminiscing and thinking back to memories you had together and smiling to themselves. I see there being no bad feelings towards you, but just like nostalgia and thinking back to you with positivity. They think of you in a very positive light. That's what I see. However, now that you two are no longer around each other and you're no longer in contact, there's this feeling of like, I feel like you're slipping out of my fingers, or I feel like maybe sometimes I don't pick up on your energy as much. And I don't know if this person consciously thinks this or if it's just subconscious, but this is what I'm picking up on. So this person thinks of you as somebody that's safe, a safe space for them, a safe haven, somebody that feels like comfort to them. You brought in so much excitement and fulfillment into their life. And like I said, they view you in quite a positive light and still think of you in a positive light. They still think of you with so much love. Whenever they think of you, there's a smile on their face. That is what I see. I see that this person thinks of you as a very romantic or loving person, someone that is almost like a hopeless romantic, someone that has a heart of gold, someone that cares so much, cares so deeply. They think of you as a no-nonsense, no-drama type of person. You kind of just mind your own business and pay attention to yourself. They think of you as a very excitable, exciting person to be around, someone that's very fun, someone they had a strong friendship with. Even if this was like a romantic connection, you two could have still had a strong friendship. They think of you as somebody that is like peaceful and calm, if that makes sense. That's what I see. I'm also hearing the word manic or having an excess amount of energy. So they could think of you as somebody that almost like has the zoomies or has like an excess amount of energy where it's like you could be doing this and that, like a very busy person, if that makes sense, where you have a lot of energy and motivation to do the things you want to do. But again, there's also like this very fun vibe you bring. And you have like this youthful type of energy about you. You could even look younger than your age. Even if you're like in your 50s, you could still have your inner child with you. You could still be like very fun. That's kind of what I'm picking up on. You don't take life too seriously, but you still have stability and balance of your own. But with the root chakra being reversed, it feels like they can no longer come to you in the safe space. Like, although they once thought of you as someone that was their safe space, it feels like I can no longer come to the safe space. So I just saw 1111, and what I forgot to mention in the beginning of the reading is while I was setting up for your reading, I saw the angel number 1111. So they could be seeing a lot of angel numbers whenever they think of you, especially 1111. They think that you're also sad right now, that although you have stability of your own, you seem sad right now, or they're sensing sadness from you about like the state of your connection, and it feels like they're thinking of you as somebody that has gone through a huge transformation with Pluto at the back of the deck, but it also feels like they're very restless and they're having a lot of anxiety about what's going to happen next for the both of you. They think of you as a very bubbly person. For some of you, you weren't the most physically affectionate, but you took affection from them and it made them feel special. For others of you, you're very physically affectionate. Something about physical affections coming through and them missing that with you. So even if this was like a best friend and you two always like hugged each other, they could miss your hugs. Something about that's coming through. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at your tarot cards. So for your tarot cards, the first card that came up was the Six of Cups. Then we have the Four of Cups, the Muse of Voices, which is the King of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. At the back of the deck, you do have the Knight of Swords. What I am noticing in these cards is you have a lot of cups energy here and swords energy. So cups is all about emotions. So this tells me that this person still feels something towards you, even if they are in denial, telling themselves they don't, or telling their new partner they don't, for those that related to that. Or telling people around them that they don't care, but they do still care. And people can see that. Like, people are not blind. They can see that. What I also do want to say is, like, if this was not something where they got into a new relationship, let's just say this was an ex-friend and another friend talks about you. It's like they could get very angry if people talk bad about you. They could still be protective over you. So people can still see that this person cares about you. Another thing I want to note here is with the swords, they still think about you a lot because swords is all about mental energy. But they could also be overthinking about like what caused this change in your connection. Some of you could have drifted apart from this person, or something could have just changed suddenly in your connection where it was not expected for you or this person. And this person could still be feeling confused about that, still could lack closure on what actually happened between the two of you that caused this disruption in your connection. Now, what I am also taking note of within these tarot cards is we have the number 6 showing up 3 times. So the number 6 in tarot relates to harmony, balance, all those beautiful things. So they could still think of you as like this very harmonic, balanced type of person, almost like that Libra energy. Even if you're not a Libra, you could have that Libra energy of like harmony, balance, fairness, things like that. Two confirmations we do see here within the cards with the Six of Cups tells me that this person still is nostalgic about you, because Six of Cups is all about nostalgia, but it's also about memories and like thinking back to those memories. So this person still definitely thinks back to your memories. The Six of Swords here also relates to like huge changes and transformations. So that is confirmation that this person thinks of you as someone that has transformed or changed in the best possible way, where it's like you've let go of an old part of yourself and become a newer, improved version of self. And this person is so proud of you. They're so happy for you. Even though you're no longer in each other's lives, this person just wants you to be happy. They want you, even if you don't want them in your life anymore, they just want you to be happy. And that's all that matters to them. And that makes them happy that you're changing and transforming for the better. Not that anything was wrong with you in the past, but you've just improved in a very beautiful way. And again, this person's happy for you. This person could think of you as someone that is very dreamy, because I hear the song, "She looks just like a dream, the prettiest girl I've ever seen," on a cover of a magazine. Um, so they could like view you as very dreamy in some way. But this person could also view you as someone that has never lost your childlike state or the state of innocence or pureness. Like I said, even if you're in your 50s, you could be still like this very vibrant person, not childish, but childlike in a way. Whereas like you haven't lost that connection to your inner child. Some of you have done a lot of inner child healing, and this person can see that. This person is feeling very unsatisfied with their life right now and the direction it's heading in. And it feels like, okay, when I pulled this Four of Cups card opposite the sacral chakra, I actually felt a pain in my sacral chakra, which is very interesting. So, what is this about, Spirit? Okay. So I'm hearing a line from a song that's like, "I wanted you to be the one," and I think it's from the Gabby song from the internet. And I'm clairvoyantly seeing someone give somebody a ring, but then it falls on the ground. So, for those asking about romantic connections, maybe this person could have viewed you as like a soulmate. With the Six of Cups here, could have viewed you as somebody they wanted to spend the rest of their life with. If this was platonic, then it's like, I wanted to be your friend forever. You know, I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you. And now that it's not happening, it feels like life is bleaker. It feels like there's this wound within their emotions, and I feel like their mind is still trying to catch up with what has happened, and they're still in denial about what has happened. It feels like they are very heartbroken. I feel the heartbreak in my heart chakra still. So, although they're looking at you as like you're doing better, it's not like pile number one, because with pile one, the Four of Cups came out, but it was like comparison. With this energy, it's like, I'm happy for you, but I'm in a state of pain. So that's what I'm getting here. They see you as somebody that has a very similar mindset to them, or very similar, like, it's like you're on the same wavelength, if that makes sense. They also saw you as somebody that they had a very strong mental connection with. They also see you as somebody that's very inspiring in some way. They think you've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, but you've overcome that you're very strong and resilient. And again, you inspire this person that even if they're in the lowest moment of their life right now, that they can get back up and kickstart their day. They still feel as though you were one of the most generous people they've ever met. You constantly gave to this person. You're a giver. You're generous. You're charitable. And that's how this person's seeing you still in this moment. Like, but they still feel like they're giving you their energy through their thoughts. And they don't know if you feel the same way, if it's reciprocated. So they're kind of questioning that in their mind. And I see them thinking about that a lot lately. Like, do you miss me the way I miss you? Or do I just need to move on and accept this change? So this is what I have for you. I really hope this reading resonated with you, pile number 2. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number 3s. You chose the Agate crystal and the activated earth card. So in today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what they think of you in your absence. So before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to announce that I am available for personal readings again. So if you'd like to book with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. Please be aware that this is a general reading, so only take what resonates, leave the rest. So we're first going to take a look at these cards, then after that we'll pull your tarot cards. So for now we have Activated Earth, Power Places, Lee Lines, Trust Where You Led. We have Mercury in reverse with Emerald and Cognizance. We have Lammermar, Neptune, and Perspective. I don't know why I said protection. Maybe some of you were drawn to pile 2. We have the Two of Swords and the King of Wands. I see a theme of ignoring. So you could have ignored this person, or they could have felt ignored by you, or they could have ignored you in some way. Because I'm picking up on that energy of ignoring a person or avoiding a person. So there is this thought they have, which I feel like most of you, they felt ignored by you. There's this feeling of like, I bet you probably wouldn't want to talk to me with Mercury reverse. Like, this person thinks you wouldn't want to talk to them, that you wouldn't want to reach out to them, that even if they had to reach out to you, you would most probably ignore them or read their message and leave them unread, or not even read their message, not even respond. So it's like they're thinking of you as like very quiet right now. When I was pulling your cards and shuffling it, I got this feeling when I looked at this Mercury card of like, you wouldn't want to talk to me anyways, and then I got goosebumps. So I took that as confirmation from Spirit, And every time I was pulling your cards, I kept getting goosebumps whenever I thought something, and Spirit wanted to give me that confirmation. So that's what I'm picking up on. This person could be thinking of you right now like you're very quiet, like why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't we speaking right now? They still could be very confused with Mercury in reverse, because Mercury is the planet of communication, but also the mind. They still could be very confused on what happened between the two of you. And even if you did give reasons for why you left, if you did leave, there's still this feeling of confusion. Like, I don't know why we're not talking. For some of you, there was a theme of ghosting here. One person had ghosted the other. And there's a little bit of confusion on why that happened. So let's say this person ghosted you. Maybe they're still confused on why they did it. And if you ghosted them, they're confused why you ghosted them. I'm also hearing the words promise, betrayal, and forgiveness. So one of you could have felt betrayed by the other, and one of you, well, could maybe be like thinking about forgiving the other person. So like, let's say this person betrayed a trust of promise to you, like they promised something to you and they broke that promise. They could be wondering like if you will ever forgive them, or let's say they did do something to betray your trust. They're wondering if you will ever forgive them, if they ever had to come back and try to communicate with you. They're wondering like if you would see their perspective and their side of the story, or if you would just be stubborn about it and not forgive them at all. Not that I think you're stubborn, but this person may think of you in that light, because what I'm picking up on, and this is not personal, please don't get offended, like what I'm picking up on is when you have your mind set on something, or when you and this is just their perspective because I view it in a different light. Let me explain what I see. So, when you have your mind set on something, you're not changing your mind. And that's why they may view you as stubborn. But also, when you're upset about something, you might, like, I'm hearing not take bullshit excuses. Sorry for my language. And that may come across as stubborn, but you're just standing in your own power and your own truth. And that may intimidate this person where they view it in the perspective of stubbornness, but I see it as like a power struggle, if that makes sense. I'm hearing the words power struggle, where it's like they're trying to show you their perspective, but you're also trying to show your perspective. And it's like this mismatch in energies where we're not seeing where the other person's coming from. And even if we do, our own feelings are hurt, where even if we see their perspective, it doesn't change that our feelings are hurt. So that's what I'm picking up on. You could have had a very frustrating lost conversation with them for some of you, where it's like you're trying to say your perspective, they're trying to say their perspective, and it's like we can't necessarily see eye to eye or communicate efficiently, if that makes sense. They could also think of you as a very quiet person, or someone that is a little bit shy or introverted, or someone that doesn't have a lot of words to say unless you're like close to a person, or unless you are very excited about something, or it's a topic you like to speak about, or something like that. Or it's like around people you're comfortable around, you get more chatty, but like most of the time they see you as like shy and quiet, if that makes sense. I'm also seeing they could think of you as somebody that sees things in a very different perspective as them, where, like I said, it feels like the both of you couldn't see eye to eye. They're also seeing you as somebody that maybe tolerated more than you should have, and they're acknowledging that from their side. Like maybe you tolerated things that shouldn't have been tolerated in this connection. I just saw the angel number 777, so they could also think of you as very lucky in some way. They could think of you as somebody that boosted their ego in some way or made them feel good about themselves or confident about themselves or better about themselves when you were in their life. I also think they could see you as a great cook or a foodie because I'm tasting like a beef kind of stew in my mouth. I'm not eating anything, but I'm tasting it energetically. So either you were a good cook, or like if you ever cook for this person, or they think of you as somebody that loves food and is a foodie. To be honest, pile number 3, I don't like this person's energy very much. When I'm in the energy, I keep hearing negative things they think about you, which I'm not going to get into because I don't want to bring your mood down or, like be insulting to you, pile number 3, even if they're thinking some things. Um, which is why I say I don't really like their energy because they're thinking in a very negative way. Even though you gave a lot to them and you tolerated more than you should have, and they view you as like a very kind of like kind person, if that makes sense, but they're still thinking more negative thoughts of you that are a little bit more mean in nature. So I'm not going to get into that, but I do pick up on the energy. But what's really confusing here is they still want a place back in your heart. They still feel like they want you in their life, but that you wouldn't want them back or you wouldn't want to speak to them. And these negative thoughts that they may have may be due to their own ego being hurt of the fact that they think you wouldn't want to speak to them. So that may cause these more negative thoughts. Even though it isn't an excuse, it may be the cause for it. So they think of you as somebody that is almost like a fantasy to them. However, there were also a lot of illusions present in your dynamic. But also within the way they're viewing you, there might be some illusions there, like in the way they view you based off their own ego. Because I pick up that this is a very ego-driven person. And if you left this person behind, it could have really damaged their ego in some way I'm picking up on. They could also think of you as this person that almost has like this rich inner spirit. I'm just going to mention the good things I'm seeing. I'm not going to mention the mean things. They think of you as somebody that is very like emotional and watery in nature. They also think of you as somebody that they met at the right time, where it's like they were drawn to you and you taught them something about themselves. I feel like you were put into each other's timelines and path to help each other grow and evolve spiritually, but this feels more karmic in nature, if I'm going to be totally honest. And it also feels like they're viewing you as a good decision maker, somebody that's very aware of your own decisions and how it may affect others. Since you are somebody that feels things on a deeper level, they may think of you as somebody that's self-aware of your own actions because you wouldn't want to hurt others the same way maybe you've been hurt. So that is how they're currently viewing you and thinking of you. I do also see this energy of like you being very driven, passionate, ambitious. I just saw the angel number 888. They could also view you as somebody that is going to create abundance for yourself or has potential to do that within this lifetime. With the eye on the Mercury card, they could be watching you but acting as if they're not, since the card's in reverse, like for example on social media. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull your tarot cards to get more information. Okay, so for your tarot cards, we have the Knight of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, Awakening, and the Two of Swords again over the Two of Swords, which is so crazy about the placement. Like, I was literally shuffling, and when I saw Two of Swords on top of Two of Swords, I was so shocked. But there's something about this person not being happy with the decision that was made. So, like I mentioned, I picked up on like ghosting, ignoring, or like a last fight where you two weren't on good terms, for most of you. So there's a feeling here of I'm unhappy with the decisions that were made, with the words that were said in our last conversation. If you two left on bad terms, and if it was like a ghosting or ignoring situation, then they're also unhappy with that. So if they ghosted you, they're unhappy with the fact that they did that. They regret the fact that they made that decision. And if you ghosted them or ignored them, they're unhappy with that. So there's something about that coming through, like the decisions that were made that they're unhappy about. Okay, so it also feels like although this person has more negative thoughts towards you or views you in more of a negative perspective based on their ego that was hurt, it also feels like they can acknowledge that you are maybe more of a kinder person than them. It feels like they're acknowledging that maybe you took the high road or turned the other cheek, or you were the bigger person in like the way you dealt with the situation here. So that's how they're currently thinking of you. Like you took the high road, you weren't petty, or you tried not to be, you tried not to give them a reaction. You tried to just end things on a good note, even though they didn't end on a good note. I feel like this person's very reactive, which is why they're viewing you in this light. Like you're more in control of your emotional responses than them. They are realizing some things that they were wrong about towards the end of your connection. And they are realizing that you two could have triggered each other's deepest wounds. And that could also be a cause for a lot of this volatility I'm feeling here from them. Because it feels like you triggered a lot of anger for them towards the end of this connection because of the wounds that were being triggered. So what Spirit is showing me is like, imagine you have a wound, like a physical wound, and someone tries to put alcohol in it, it's gonna burn, right? Spirit is showing it to me like that, like you two burnt each other's wounds unintentionally. And that may be the cause for the volatility I was picking up on. You two were sort of like karmic mirrors to each other's wounds. So the Two of Pentacles is at the back of the deck. They view you as like very stable and grounded, and they think of you as like a very balanced person overall. They also think of you as somebody that is very sexy, or like physically appealing, physically attractive. Even if you weren't together with this person romantically, they could still admire your beauty. They could think of you as somebody that's very wise or views things in a higher perspective, somebody that's had a lot of realizations and like a lot of inner growth. Again, the self-awareness is coming through. They could also see you as very gifted in some way, either spiritually or just gifted at something. I also see this energy of like things falling apart within your connection, and this feeling of like, are we going to rebuild what has fallen apart, or are we just going to leave it here? So this person may still have hopes of coming back to you and healing what was lost or healing what was broken in your connection, but it feels like they might think of it as like a little bit of a challenge right now, because they're viewing you in this light of like newfound self-love, if that makes sense, where because you love yourself and know your worth, you probably wouldn't want them back because they would just cause a lot of problems for you or bring a lot of problems and a feeling of stuckness into your life. You could have felt liberated when you left this person behind, if you did leave this person, and they could see that you feel more free without them, and they don't want to hold you down or hold you back. But they still do want a future with you, even though they're still having some feelings of anger here. They think you've been through a lot in life, but you've also persevered. You've held on when most people would have let everything fall to the ground. You held on to hope, to faith that something better can come. They think of you as a very optimistic, fiery type of person, yet also watery and sensitive at the same time. Like you can be very self protective, but also very gentle at the same time. But you can also be very like driven, if that makes sense, and very ambitious, but at the same time, your emotions have to be tied to what you do, otherwise you won't feel motivation to do it. So let's say, for example, within your career, it's like you have to really feel an emotional connection or substance to what you do in order to put your whole heart and soul into it. They view you as like a very hearty and soulful person, if that makes sense. They also think of you as somebody that they maybe never had the best communication with, but you are a good communicator. But even though you were a good communicator, you still couldn't have prevented the communication problems you had because of this person's volatility. That's what I pick up on. It's like they view you as like more graceful than them in the way you handle things, because they can be very petty at times. And you don't seem to be. They think of you as a go-getter, as somebody that's also very responsible. So this is what I have for you. I really hope that this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.